not prohibition. Yeah, expectation. Prohibition.
What did you say about? Okay, so we are live on Facebook. Thank you everyone for joining us. We have participants on Zoom as well. So that is why you will see me turning my head and shifting between the two platforms. So welcome everyone who has just joined us on Facebook Live. Welcome again to all of you here on Zoom on my other computer. Today's topic is expectations in life. So I have just asked our Zoom participants to write in their chat any words that come to mind that they think of when they hear the word expectation. So if you are watching on Facebook, please write in the chat something that you think of when you hear the word expectation. Okay? Letruk, Oscar, welcome. Nice. So here on Zoom, we have some excellent examples so far. The future, thinking about the future, thinking about a better life. Predictions, something that is upcoming. Something that is upcoming has not come to us yet. It will be happening at a later point. Okay? Dreams that you had when you were a child. So as linked to your expectations. This is interesting. So these could be long-term dreams or dreams that you have had for a long time since you were a child that are now an expectation for your life. Okay? What else do we have here? Future plans. Okay, nice. So a few more words that I will give you. Forecast. Okay? Prediction and projection, okay? And we have success from Oscar on the Facebook Live. So I'm writing these words on Zoom. If you are watching from Facebook, please practice listening and taking notes of these words, okay? So a prediction is something that you say could happen based on what you might know so far. So you make a prediction. And then it could turn out that your prediction was accurate, that it was correct, or that your prediction was totally off and you really missed the mark, right? So you were not right about what you predicted, okay? Projection, to project, okay? So that is like a film being projected onto the screen from the projector. So if we project into the future, that means that we are trying to take something from our reality in the present day and find it a place in the future. Good. So those are some synonyms for the word expectations, to expect something. All right? So if someone asks us the question in English, what do you expect from this? Okay, have you ever heard that before? Raise your hand on Zoom if you have heard that before in English or perhaps some version of it in your native languages.
Yes, there's also a book of Charles Dickens.
Yes.
Great Expectation, yeah.
There we go. So what could be an answer to that question? So what do you expect from, let's see, from this event with your friends? Let's say you went to dinner at your friend's house. Your friend invited you over. What might be an expectation that you have if you decide to go to your friend's house for dinner?
Great food.
Yes,
delicious,
good.
Delicious food.
Good.
Good atmosphere. Good atmosphere.
Good atmosphere. So I hope that those of you on the Facebook Live can hear the audio that is coming from Zoom. So good atmosphere. So an expectation could be, if I go to my friend's house for dinner, I expect some tasty food, some good food. I expect the atmosphere to be friendly. I expect to feel welcome there, okay? Namuna, good music, exactly. Good. Hi, Davide on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, Davide. Good. So that could be an expectation that we have, All right? Then we have the expression to set our expectations. All right? To set our expectations. So we can set our expectations high, or we can set them how? High, or what's the opposite of high?
They're lower.
Low. Yes, we could set them low. Exactly. Good. So we can have high expectations, we can have low expectations. If I have really high expectations in the example of this party that we're attending, let's say we're going to dinner to this friend's house. If I have really high expectations, I might think this is going to be the best party ever. The best party I've ever been to in my entire life. Okay? That would be a very high expectation. A low expectation would be, I don't really want to go to this party at all. I think these people are going to be really boring, annoying. I'll probably feel frustrated and terrible there, but you know what? I'm just going to go, and what happens, happens. Okay? So that would be a really low expectation. So another way to say this is to keep, the verb to keep your expectations low. Good, and we have from Brad in the Zoom chat, expectations lead to disappointment, so do whatever you do without expecting anything. Interesting. If you agree with Brad, please tell me in the Facebook chat. For those of you there, we have Gonzalo, who is mentioning, a really, really famous novel by Charles Dickens, Great Expectations. That is very, very spot on, very appropriate to our topic today. Good, so we will practice speaking about more of these ideas in our small groups. So one of these ideas, as Brad has suggested, is should you keep your expectations low? Is there some kind of personal, psychological, emotional strategy, some kind of defense mechanism or way of controlling an outcome if we decide to keep our expectations low? So what do we get from that? What do we gain from keeping our expectations low, right? We could gain something positive, meaning we avoid the disappointment. We protect ourselves. We guard ourselves. We make sure that we don't set false expectations. Okay, false maybe meaning not based on real evidence or not based on what we really know. Okay? On the other hand, what could we get that is positive, that is good for us, if we say, you know what, I will set my expectations high every single time? What is something we could get from that, from setting our expectations high, even if we don't have a reason to? Kiama, very good. Expectations are a way to carry out our projects. That means to achieve things, okay, to complete our project, be optimistic. Good. So if we are feeling like we have a reason to set our expectations high, and that reason is not conditional, not dependent on a result or on an outcome, then we might feel much more optimistic or enthusiastic, as Tomas says, to keep on maybe trying our best or looking forward to things no matter what happens, okay? So there is something to both of these arguments, to why we should keep our expectations low and maybe to why we should set them high. And I think a lot of this also depends on how we define expectations. I think everyone has a personal definition or a personal outlook on what is an expectation, okay? So we'll get into that also as we practice speaking. From Farzana, focus on the present to make the most. Good. So that could be another strategy also. Good. All right. We have the verb to meet. to meet one's expectations. Okay? If you meet an expectation, that means that the reality of it, the outcome, the result is matching what you expected. So if I go to this party, right, where I had a really high expectation and it turns out that the party is so fun, then I'll say, wow, this party really met my expectations. And my expectations were high. Had my expectations been low, and I go to the same party and I say, this party met my expectations, see, it still met the expectations, but it met my low expectations. So I would say, yeah, I was correct to think that this party would be really, really boring, right? Yes, exactly, Omar, to overestimate. Okay, good. To meet, okay, good, we have that. To fall short is the opposite. To fall short of one's expectations. If something falls short of my expectations, it means it did not meet them. It is at a lower point than the point at which I set my expectations. Good. Okay, we have from Marlon on the Facebook chat. Sometimes expectations are different than reality. Exactly. Maybe even most of the time. So we can think of expectations as a different realm, as a different dimension, perhaps, that we interact with. Hi, Obed. Obed is watching. Good. And Eric, okay. How healthy is it? Create big expectations. Okay. Will be accomplished. Okay, so Eric is bringing up the current situation. We can also share our opinions on that. Have your expectations been affected by the current situation, by the pandemic? Have your expectations changed? Or we can ask, have you noticed a difference? Have you noticed a difference in your expectations? Good. We have to exceed expectations. To exceed means to go above something, or to go even faster. So something exceeded my expectations means it was much better than I thought. So remember how we had Omar suggest before a strategy of not having expectations. So if you don't have expectations, or your expectations are low, then when something really great happens, something really positive, you can then enjoy saying, that exceeded my expectations. It was even better because the expectation was low to begin with. Good, all right. We have Amel quoting Shakespeare. Oh boy, whenever we see a Shakespeare quote, that means, okay, we better pay attention because that man has withstood the test of time. That means that his wisdom, his words have survived for so long. So Amel says that Shakespeare said, expectation is the root of all headaches. So expectations cause headaches. Yes. Okay. Obed says there is nothing like low expectations. It's all expectations. Good. Then we have to let go of your expectations. So let's say you have expectations. They could be high, they could be low, they could be in the middle. It doesn't matter. To let go of them means you separate yourself from them. You create distance between yourself and the expectations. Or you develop the awareness to make the distinction, to say this is an expectation, this is what is happening right now, or this is what has occurred. Okay? Hi Kareem on Facebook. Expectation depends on our past experience and fruitful imagination. Very good English there, Kareem. So fruitful imagination, meaning a productive imagination. So the ability to imagine things. And Kareem says that it's a combination of imagining things, like we said in the beginning of the chat, predicting the future, and using our past experiences, so our past knowledge or understanding, to inform the imagination, to give us some material that we can work with in our heads in order to imagine something new and thereby set an expectation, or adapt our expectations. Expectations can be adaptable. Maybe they can be reset. Another word is recalibrated. Maybe something has happened and you have new data or new measurements of your own to go by, or you're calculating things in a different way. So you reset or you adjust or adapt your expectations accordingly. Okay, good. We could say, let's see, oh, this is used a lot colloquially. What were you expecting? Okay, what were you expecting? So let's say something happens and unfortunately you are disappointed. You say, oh, this party was terrible. I wish I hadn't gone to this party. Okay, and let's say you're talking to your friend. That friend could say to you, what were you expecting? How could you even think this party would be fun based on the information you had? So what were you expecting? Meaning you shouldn't have been expecting much to begin with. All right, so what were you expecting? Okay, in a more serious way, what do you expect from this job? Okay, let's say this is a job interview. You will find the question often, what do you expect? What do you expect from this company? What do you expect from this role? Maybe you have a teacher or a tutor, like Altino mentioned earlier, and the tutor could ask Altino, well, what do you expect from me? What do you expect from what I can give you or from what we're working on together, right? And that's a legitimate question. What do you expect? And a legitimate answer could be, I expect that we'll work together 3 times per week for 2 hours every day. Maybe you're looking for a language partner and you want to get this clear in the beginning. What do you expect from the language partner? I expect a certain kind of schedule. I expect that you put in enough effort, right? So we could have a whole list of expectations. Good. All right. This one, if you hear a woman say, I am expecting, do not confuse this with the other definitions of to expect. So if a woman tells you, I am expecting, that literally means she is expecting a child, so she is pregnant. So a woman saying, I'm expecting means I'm expecting a baby. I am pregnant. Okay? Literally means she is waiting for, expecting the baby to arrive in the future. Good. Okay, perfect. All right, let me see what else we have here to cover. All right, so beliefs. You can think of expectations as a kind of belief, especially if there is a pattern or a common thread. If you can find something linking your expectations, then it might be a belief system if you keep having the same expectations maybe over and over, right? Okay. Now we have the difference between expectations and values and standards. Values and standards, okay? So a value, something that you value, right, could be I value kindness. I value generosity. I value honesty, okay? I have the standard that I hold people to hold people to a standard means that you have this standard that you have defined and you will expect people to behave according to that standard, okay? So if I value, let's say, honesty, right? That is my value, okay? And I meet someone who is dishonest, who is not honest, who is, let's say, lying to me, right? I could say that that person is behaving in a way that goes against my values and in a way that is below or beneath my standards, right? But now watch this. The expectations are separate from this. So I can keep this standard according to my values, but I don't have to expect any specific person to meet that standard. Because if they meet it, then great. Then I can say they've met my standards. That's great. Maybe we can be friends. So we can look at this in different ways. We can look at this from the perspective of expectations that tell us what kind of decision we might make based on our standards or our values. Okay. Appreciate. Okay. Question from Eric. What would be an optimistic expectation for 2021 about economics and health? Whoa, that's a difficult question, Eric. We'll see what others say later on. Okay, I am expecting, Umair gave us an example for he is expecting something negative to happen after sharing a WhatsApp code. Okay, so this is an interesting example. So you can expect something negative to happen, right? Based on your logical thinking that if you shared this to enough people, statistically something might happen. But Umair, does this have to affect how you feel? Can you still make the decision to manage your own emotions according to, let's say, your expectations for yourself? Okay, so we have expectations for ourselves and expectations for others. Okay, very good. All right, so questions that we will work on answering in the small practice rooms are, okay, I'm writing these in the Zoom chat. If you are watching on Facebook Live, you are welcome to join us on Zoom. If you have received the Zoom link in your email, if you have not, then send me a message with your email address and you can join for part 2 next time, okay? So, questions. What do expectations mean for you? All right, and you guys can answer these on the Facebook Live. What do expectations mean to you? Okay. Do you have high or low expectations in your life? And for which areas? Okay. What is an example of a high expectation that you have in your life? And what is an example of a low expectation? Okay. Divakar, several people have bizarre. Okay. So bizarre, weird expectations. Yeah. So expectations are very unique, as are standards and values. Kareem, what do you expect how you will be in 5 years' time? Good. That's a great example of a personal expectation. What do you expect for yourself 5 years from now? What do you expect from your English? What do you expect from your job, from your studies, from your family, from your friends? Okay? So a lot of different questions there. Good? Okay. Nice. So would somebody here on the Zoom like to answer, okay, the second question? An example, no, sorry. Do you have high or low expectations in your life? That was a typo. That should say expectation, not exception. Okay, so I'll ask Altino. So Altino, do you in general in your life have high or low expectations and why?
For protect myself, I always create baby steps expectations. I create small expectations, but with a goal, a big goal, in the end of this process. Because that I think that I have small expectations, because I don't look the final goal. I look the goal that I need to accomplish in the process. I don't know how to explain this.
That's very good. So as you go, like you said, baby steps. So,
yes.
So you have an expectation for the next step in the process?
Yes. I focus my objectives in the next step, not in the final goal. The final goal is only a consequence.
Got it. Good. So Altino is suggesting that it could be useful to use your expectations as a tool, as something that helps you advance from one step or one stage of a project into the next. So where you use the expectation and say, I believe that if I complete these things, that I will succeed in advancing forward. So Altino, you have the expectation at that step in the process that you will obtain or get the result that you want.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Very good.
Maya?
Yes,
Maya?
Brad. Yes, we have Brad on Zoom. Tell us, Brad.
All right. Yeah, I have a contrary. I have the counter to the gentleman's answer. Okay.
Good.
According to him, he says he has a small baby step, right?
Can you repeat?
I'm not.
Can you repeat that, Brad, one more time? I had trouble hearing you.
Just wait for a moment.
Okay. We'll wait for a moment. 1 second, Brad. Let me just answer a question. So, Eric, expectations, could it be something similar to a goal or simply a thought? That is interesting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
one moment, Brad. Let's just answer this question from Eric. So Eric is asking if we can think of expectations as we think of goals, right? And I would say depends on the expectation, because a goal that we have, right? If we believe in the goal, which I hope that we do, we would have the expectation for a positive outcome. We would have the expectation that we can achieve this goal. So Eric, in this case, I would say, yes, we could have a goal maybe in the back of our heads that we plan on working on. Maybe, I have this goal for 10 years from now, right? But my expectation could be, I don't think I'm confident enough. I don't think I can really make this happen. And that could be why we delay a goal, why we postpone a goal. So if the goal is not synced with, not integrated with the expectation in a positive way, then the expectation could be one of the reasons we're not achieving the goal. Maybe we don't expect ourselves to achieve that. Or as Altino said, maybe the goal is too big, and so the expectations are too confusing or too difficult to wrap our minds around, to even think of. So like Altino said, in this case, we would take the goal and we would make smaller pieces from it. We would break apart the goal into smaller pieces and then just focus on each expectation for each piece. Yes. Good. Let's see if we can hear Brad now.
Yes, yeah, I have a concern. What I thought, that gentleman, I do not remember his name, but according to him, goal and expectation, he is just adding or mixing up those both things here all together.
So mixing up what, Brad? You said golden expectations?
Yeah. Normally, expectation is like a mental status. I'm targeting something. Okay, this is my suppose. I give
exam. Okay, I appear for an exam. My expectation is to pass the exam. All right, but it may lead to sometime it is not necessary that it is not compulsory that you pass. There is chance that you may fail.
Yes.
So my point or my counter to that gentleman is that goal and expectation are two different things.
That goals and expectations are two different things. Yes, I agree with both of you, Brad, with you and with Eric. I think it depends on what the goal is and what the expectation is. Because the expectation could be serving the goal, it could be helping the goal, or it could be what is creating the obstacle, what is keeping you from your goal or preventing you from achieving the goal. But very good.
We can consider, we can expect, this expectation is a stimulus. Expectation is a stimulus which, supports, achieving our goal or our target.
Very good. And we had someone bring that up briefly before too, that it helps keep us optimistic, helps give us the energy. Good. Very good. Awesome. All right. So you guys on Zoom, hang on one moment. The participants on Zoom will now break off into their practice rooms. So I am going to end the Facebook Live. Thank you everyone for joining us on Facebook. If you received the Zoom link, you are welcome to join us on Zoom now. So those of you watching the live, if you would like to practice speaking with us, this is for all levels. Even if you are a beginner, you can join, you can listen, and you can speak if you feel comfortable. Okay, thanks for watching the Facebook Live. See you guys soon. Okay.